Everyone, Mango7Roll here. How we doing today? Welcome to another episode of Epic 7, and today we're going to talk about our new exclusive equipment units that are coming, and maybe take a little guess on what they might be, and watch how wrong I am. You know, that's always the hard part, being right on these sort of things. So let's just get into it. We have our three silhouettes here, pretty obviously. Bellona, Cermia, and General Purrgis here. So let's just go take a look at them kind of one by one. I'm going to start with Bellona, I think. She's the one I'm most confused on, to be entirely honest. I have no idea what they're going to give her, but she needs something, I feel. She's got her single target attack here that can proc her fan. She's got her AoE that gives her immunity for one turn, which basically does nothing, to be entirely honest. And then her AoE defense break, of course. So there's a bunch of things they can do here, but I'm honestly struggling with her. I have literal no idea what they could do. Butterfly Fan needs an improvement. It's just a terrible skill, to be entirely honest. I'm not entirely sure what they could add here. Maybe they could dispel debuffs. Maybe they could add another debuff to it. Maybe they could add unbuffable to the enemies. I have no idea, to be completely honest. Zero idea on Bellona. One of the things I was thinking with her, though, is she is a duelist of sorts, and I feel like it would be good if her skill set somewhat mimicked her fan. So her fan does additional damage to ice enemies, and I think they could incorporate that somehow into their abilities. Like maybe giving her skill 1 extra damage for elemental affinity style things. That's another possibility, I guess. Alternatively, they could increase the effect chance of Razorwind Fan by 20% to make it a guaranteed chance to decrease defense. They could also make it ignore effect resistance. There's a bunch of things they could do with this, but having an 80% defense down feels pretty terrible when you are comparing it to people that have a 100% chance. So just one of the options there I was considering with Bellona. As for what stat they get, I don't know how they decide that, but she could use basically everything. She needs effectiveness, she needs attack, she needs crit rate, she needs crit damage, she needs speed, she needs all of the above. So any sort of stat she gets on this is going to be okay for sure. So one thing too that I noticed they try to do with these units is try to make one for PvE, one for PvP, and one for all around when they go through the exclusive equipment. So keep that in mind too going forward. The defense break I feel would be a PvP one. The extra damage versus ice would probably be like a mix between both. And then a PvE one might be more... I have no idea. She's so confusing of a skill set. You kind of just forget what she does, to be honest, after SSB came out. So next up, let's take a look at General Purrgis. And Purrgis is a weird one because as far as I know right now, if I can ever find a GP, as far as I know with General Purrgis right now, there's nobody else that's got an exclusive equipment that has a passive for his skill 2. So nobody knows how they're going to handle that yet. Also, just to note with General Purrgis, I think he's amazing right now. I think he's perfect for high-end Guild War. I think he's just a solid unit all around. So whatever he gets is going to be really beneficial to him and just to your overall team. So there's a couple things I was considering. One is this stuns 2 random enemies for 1 turn. Perhaps this could go to 4 random enemies, so it stuns the whole team. That's one of the potentials. Another is having this dispel. So have this dispel your team as well, kind of like a Lilius sort of style thing. But I'm not sure because it needs to fit the theme with General Purrgis. He's kind of clumsy, and it just doesn't make sense for Command to Charge to stun everybody. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me because thematically, visually, it's just wouldn't really work like that. So that's one of my considerations here. I just feel like maybe Dispel is the better option here. Maybe greater attack too, but that might be too good. I'm not sure. Alternatively, they could double the combat readiness gain when he's hit. It's a possibility for the passive. Or possibly have him gain double the combat readiness instead of the whole team. That's another option here. And as for his skill 1, they could double the rate up to 100% chance, but Doubling the rate wouldn't make sense because 50, 60, 75% chance. So they could add 25% chance to provoke on his skill 1 too, which would feel pretty bad considering Armin got 25% chance to stun, which is just a little bit better than provoke in most cases. So overall with him, I'm kind of struggling as well trying to decide what they might give him. But I do think it doesn't matter what he gets. It's going to be awesome. He can also... Oops, no, don't go away. No. Oh, there we go. We're back. He can also use basically every single base stat. He can use speed. He can use defense. He can use health. He can use effectiveness. He can use effect resistance. As long as you don't get attack, crit rate, crit damage as your main stat options for these things, then anything he gets is going to be fantastic. So overall, I'm really happy with him. I might actually skill him up after this exclusive equipment because he's just been such a wonderful unit for me that I really like using him. I don't think it's going to stun everybody, though. I had a bunch of people tell me that's what they thought it was going to be, but it just seems incorrect with his theme, you know? Like, you wouldn't want to give somebody an exclusive equipment that kind of ruins their theme. So that's one of the things I was thinking of there. And finally, our third and final unit... What's our third and final unit again? LOLOL. Cermia. Okay, so I have ideas for Cermia. Cermia's easy. First off, when she first came out, I accidentally spoiled that her exclusive equipment was going to give her AoE. So I think there's pretty good potential here that either her all-in or her playing with fire is going to hit an additional target. So you could proc this and then do this and it would double cleave, for example. Super possible, but that might be too overpowered on her skill 3, so they could just add it to her skill 1 where her skill 1 hits 2 targets instead of 1. They could also add a elemental effectiveness dodging, elemental affinity advantage, whatever it's called, so you can kill those flipping SSBs, something to kind of deal with water units as Cermia. So that's a possibility too. Again, I don't know if that would be too good because that would basically one-shot every unit at that point, and I would feel really bad because she's still unawakened, she's still +1, and meanwhile I've got a +15 Melissa that does nothing. Couple other things she could do is have Hot Streak add a regular attack buff to the whole team, so she buffs the team, but that feels kind of not like Cermia whatsoever. She could also do something RNG related. I feel like with her personality, with her lore and everything, I feel like there needs to be some randomness involved in her skill set. So perhaps they could give her skill 2 a random chance to give a secondary buff of a list of anything, kind of like Rin has. I'm kind of grasping at straws here, you can kind of guess, but I'm just kind of throwing things around. But overall, I feel like they're just going to make her better at what she does, give her a little bit of AoE because everybody knows Cermia has the best AoE in the game, and make her a little more explosive and specifically be able to handle ice units just a little bit better. Overall, I think that's about all I can say about these things. It's all just up in the air right now. We're crossing our fingers these are good, but Cermia is already extremely usable. She's very good right now, so whatever she gets is awesome. As for her substats, attack, crit rate, crit damage, effectiveness-ish, I guess. Most things are okay except for the defensive stats, of course, on her. That said, there's a couple other units I really feel need exclusive equipment, specifically 5-star units. I'm gonna go to my waifu right now because she needs it real bad. She's so close to being just a fantastic unit. You've seen me use her in Guild War. I really like her skill 3 and a skill 2 right now. But there's just a little bit more. She just needs a little bit more love somehow. And not only like the ability the exclusive equipment gives for Araminta, but just the stats it gives would be huge for her. Whether it's a little bit more attack, more speed, more effectiveness, whatever she gets is going to be fantastic. There's just so many people that could use these two. Charlotte's another one. She needs something. Little girl needs some love, you know. I'm using her right now for Hell Raid, but she needs something. There's just so many units. I want to see what they get, and I honestly think these exclusive equipments are my favorite thing to see in the game right now because they just add so much fun to them, and it just adds so much depth to the character. Again, the best example for this is going to be Guider Aether, I feel. Guider Aether has the perfect exclusive equipment. I absolutely love all three of them in three different situations, and I think that's the ideal design they should do for something like that. So yeah, that's gonna be it for now. I hope this was interesting to listen to. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below on what you think things are gonna get, because I'm probably completely off the mark here, but it's really interesting to guess, and I just like talking. So thank you so much. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. As always, hit the bell notification, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye, everybody.